In a way, Naomi, on a much more tragic and real level, is embodying that sort of emotional space. She actually has gone through real tragedy. She's lost her husband and her sons, and she feels like everything has come out against her. She has no hope left, and she can't even see. Her vision has become myopic. Kind of like me in that car. I just like, all I could see was the next Hebrew verb. For her, she's looking around and she's saying, there's nothing in my life. I'm completely empty. And she doesn't even see who's standing next to her. Uh, so as we jump into this story, one of the best ways to get into the book of Ruth, the names of the book of Ruth are super important. They all match perfectly their position, this cast of characters. So I have a little cast of characters for us, and getting into the Hebrew name of all of these actually kind of helps us tell the story. So Elimelech, we meet first, the husband. His name means, my God is king. Naomi means pleasant, but at the end of the chapter, she changes her name to Mara, which means bitter. Malon means sickly, and Kilion means wasting away or dying. Not the names I would have chosen for my kids, but we'll get there. What's going on there? They name their kids sickly and dying. Okay. Ruth means friend. Orpah means the nape of the neck, probably because she turns away and walks back to Moab. And then Bethlehem. Bet means house, and Lechem means bread. Bethlehem, the house of bread, or the bakery. That's the town of the bakery. That's our backdrop today. So there's this deep irony right at the beginning of the story. Because in the time of Judges, when there's no king in Israel, apparently at least one family had just a glimmer of faith because they named their son, My God is King, in a time where there was no king. My God is King comes forth. His name is strong and powerful. His actions are a little ambiguous. The text doesn't really tell us if he did the right thing or not. But his name means, of course, God will provide, for my God is King. And he's living in the house of bread, but my God is King can't find bread in Bethlehem. It's this deep irony, this twist. What you wouldn't expect someone with such a strong name to not be able to rely on God to provide for him. And so he uproots his family. He leaves the house of bread and goes to Moab to try to find food because they're in this deep famine. There's precedent, especially in the book of Genesis. You see, oftentimes children are named, sometimes for the hopes that the parents have for their future, but sometimes just for their present circumstances. And so I can imagine Elimelech and Naomi naming their kids out of hopelessness. They're in the throes of this intense famine, and they don't even know if their kids are going to survive. And so they say, well, let's just name them sickly and wasting away. I imagine maybe if their fortunes turned around, they would change their names later. But sadly, it kind of sets you up because you kind of expect the next part of the story. They go to Moab, but Elimelech, my God is king, dies, but then sickly and wasting away also die. It's left with just the three widows trying to make ends meet. This is that stump moment. Everything has been cut down. It doesn't look like there's going to be any regrowth. And you can see there was already that sign that they had lost some hope in the naming of their sons. And now Naomi is just brought to her deepest level. She's hit absolute rock bottom here. Verse 6 is a crucial turning point in this story. See, she hears in the fields of Moab that the Lord has once again visited his people and provided food for them. What I like, actually, the word for food in verse 6 is the word lechem, bread. So she hears that the play on words there is really ripe. She hears that in the house of bread, God has provided bread once again. And so she turns her body and she starts to walk the long road back to Bethlehem. I want to just sit on this for a little bit because I believe Naomi offers for us an embodied picture of something called lament.